just like that, it's another Thursday night. Welcome to the Indie Escape Network presents World Class Clown with Robert Bass. But first, a clip from Robert's earlier years.
Daniel Ryan. Now, granted, he's not tall enough to tell black jokes, but anyway, don't judge him. We borrowed him from the St. Patrick's Day fair. He was doubling as a leprechaun. Listen, but my whole thing is this: if a white comedian get up on the stage and they tell jokes about black people eating fried chicken, I ain't mad about it. Fucking eat fried chicken. However, if your white ass throw away some good fried chicken, I'm pissed off. Like, I'm serious about that shit. Like, I'm so serious, I'm starting a petition that if a white person throw away a good piece of black chicken or fried chicken, baked chicken, barbecue chicken, grilled chicken, I don't give a fuck kind of chicken, it should be considered a hate crime. Seriously, trying to starve me. That's what they're trying to do. Trying to kill the world's population of chicken. Let's be real. But I did shows and it kind of made me peel back on the racist shit that I say, because what ended up happening was, like, all right, so listen, I had this joke I used to tell, and I'm not gonna go into the joke, but just know it had something to do with Spanish people and dildos. Listen, so then I had got off the stage and I went to pay my tab. Now out of my peripheral, don't ask me how to spell it, but I know what the fuck it means. You see my hand, peripheral. Out of my peripheral, put this down, because that's good liquor. I don't want to fucking spill it on my Bill Cosby vest. Speaking of Bill Cosby, ma'am, you want a drink? All right, we'll come back to that later. Anyway,
So, here we are. Let's unmute Robert and let's get that banner down. Welcome again
Look,
to...
a long time. It's me.
How are you this evening?
Man, listen, I am beyond excellent right now. So listen, I wanna address something. So I had a couple opportunities to really speak to what it was that I wanted to do with this show and how I wanted to do it. And in my life, with people that I've dealt with, sometimes, everything is not as supportive as you would want things to be. And so sometimes when you present your dreams or your goals to other people, they don't necessarily accept them open-heartedly or, with an open mind. And so, unfortunately, a negative thing that presented in me was I keep everything close to the vest. I have ideas, I have thoughts, and people are asking me and I'll downplay it like, well, da, 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 da. Here's the answer. First and foremost, the thing I want people who are becoming fans and watching this to know is I don't believe in coincidences. I believe in confirmation. And so I don't believe that it was a coincidence that I wanted to use that clip for my second show, simply because it kind of gives you an idea of who I am as a person, who I am as an artist. I'm going to say what's on my mind because that's who I am. What got us to this point in doing this podcast was not Joe, in the sense of him having seen my comedy, just from us talking, and just from us having casual conversations. And out of that, came the idea, hey, why don't you come over to my network? Because I think people will enjoy you talking. And so what you're going to get from my show is me. Not all of it is going to be things that you probably would like. I'm pretty certain I'm going to have some guests on there that I might have to ask them to tone down. But at the same time, because I'm asking them to be on the show, I'm not going to ask them not to be themselves. So that's what you're going to get. I've learned that sometimes just being you is the best thing you can do. So, there are things that even Joe probably going to panic about, because I don't know if you can tell Joe is white, but like he's white, like Wonder Bread white, like
Tasty white.
He grew
Elmer
up in
Glue.
You're right. So he grew up in South Florida, so he might be able to give you some 2 Live Crew or some Uncle Luke references. But that's as far as his blackness go. I don't even think his wife lets him eat Popeye's chicken. So like he ain't that. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's going to be a good thing. I don't think that it's going to be a thing that we can put in a box outside of saying you're going to get me.
All right. Well, based on that clip, just I'm going to throw this out there. If you ever start dyeing your beard again, just let me know, because I'm going to buy stock in Just for Men.
Listen, at the size of my beard alone, yeah, because I'm probably gonna need like 2 packages. But no, my wife was like, screw that, because I wasn't consistent with it. So like I would dye it and it'd be good for like a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, and then the gray started coming in, and then it had that weird brown color. And she was like, you know what, stop it. If you ain't gonna do it right, don't do it. And so I'm like, all right, bet.
All right, I got to take 2 comments from Ken, because Ken's up past his bedtime and he's Canadian, so we can't fault him.
Oh no, that means he's hella polite.
But he has a valid point here. Joe is originally a New Yorker and Italian. I'm kind of tough.
That doesn't. He can be tough and still be whiter than Wonder Bread. One thing don't have nothing to do with the other. Like he can be Italian and tough, but he's still whiter than white. It's still something that I may introduce into his life. So
hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Not that.
Are we going off the rails already?
Yeah.
Well, Raven is saying, and this is a joke. Check it out. It's a new toy and an overlord. Okay. Wow. I look like an overlord? Damn. Hey, that's my wife.
I wouldn't go that far.
Absolutely wonderful bread white, or wonderful. I think she meant Wonder Bread white, but yeah. She's half asleep. So, I mean, we got to forgive her. Kyle from Loud and Nerdy.
Wait. Let's go back. That's the wife?
That's the wife.
Oh, hi, wife. Okay. That is. That's awesome.
And you notice she hyphenates her name.
Yeah. See, you wrong for that, Joe. I told you that in confidence, and look at you. You trying to? Okay. I got it.
We're getting there. We're getting there. We will not disappoint.
Oh my word! All right, so listen.
Overlord for the network. I am not the. I'm the people's servant. I'm Robert's servant right now. I'm a producer. Whatever he says goes.
So here's what we're gonna do. At first, I was gonna introduce, and then we were gonna roll into a clip. But I think, Joe, you know what? The people have spoken. Let's roll into that clip when you're ready, and then we'll bring on the guests.
All right. I got to do a little housekeeping first. Is that okay? Just a little housekeeping.
No,
so, great. ladies and gentlemen, if it's the first time you're tuning into our network, please go to our social medias, give us a like, a follow. Doesn't cost you anything, and it means the world to us. We greatly appreciate it. And Mondays at 10 p.m. Eastern, make sure to tune into Generation Movie with JW and Rich. Mondays, 10 p.m. And then we have Loud and Nerdy, which Robert has been on a few times. Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. And also, for everybody in South Florida, Terry Gerald, director, writer, he's making a sequel to Harlow's Haunt. I was involved in the first movie. We're going to be shooting that next year in the Orlando area, possibly North Carolina and Atlanta as well. So please stay tuned for that. And that's all I got to say.
Is that like a zombie movie?
You haven't seen the movie I was in yet? You're admitting that live on air after I've been boasting about it for the past 2 years?
I don't know what part of Whiter Than Wonder Bread you're not picking up on, but so the reason that I asked is because you mentioned Atlanta, and I was like, what kind of ghouls are they going to have from Atlanta? Because I'm just saying,
by ghouls you mean tax credits, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Getting residuals from the rear.
Ken, you're killing me, man. Damn. All right, I thought we had some fans. All right,
even the friendly Canadian didn't see
it. Are you ready for
I'm
the
ready.
Clip?
Let's go.
All right, all you peggers out there, here we go.
You might catch me at a show and don't see her, and then you be like, well, where's your wife? And I'd be like, well, she ain't my business partner. No.
I love
you
going
gonna
to
get
the
your
show.
ass whooped when you go home.
That's all right. I'm not saying she beat me, but
Man, you might have to call the same hotline. I got the hotline on speed dial.
I ain't getting pegged.
I'm telling you, she got everything. Now don't tell me you got my boy thinking I'm getting pegged.
Honey, I love you.
No, not my brother.
I love you, honey. I love you.
Then we got her sitting over there in front of the fireplace. Cheeks will be clapping.
Pow, pow, pow. People, let me say this now. I do not peg my husband.
Get that shit right here. We don't need this because he's a clown. We don't need him thinking.
Okay, people, I do not peg my husband. Okay, let's get this straight. Get it out.
Get it straight.
I do not stick anything up his rear.
Yeah, let me know.
I'll get ready to say, you need to clear that up. You're just playing in this booty hole. Okay.
You see what I mean? You gotta clear that shit up with Robert here. Robert might go on to be drinking and be like, bro. Robert
I'm on TikTok tonight.
Oh man, so yeah. So there was this thing I had caught, and it was a conversation that they had, and so in our banter back and forth, I saw the opportunity, I seized the opportunity, and boom, there we are. Because if you notice, when I say it, he doesn't grab onto it right away, and then he realizes, wait a minute. So don't tell me you got, yeah, I'm on it. I'm that guy. So with that being said, there has been some changes tonight due to some unforeseen circumstances. Unfortunately, comedian Ira Lee couldn't make it tonight. However, I was still able to get his wife on the show because I do feel that she's not just his wife. She's a very intricate part of the operation that is comedian Ira Lee. So I felt like it would still be a good show with her, to speak with her about the things that she do and what she brings to the table as it pertains to our comedy world. So without any further ado, please welcome Natasha.
You had to show that video, huh?
You better believe it. You better believe it. I think that and the prostate exam is probably one of our best clips. So,
Oh man, I haven't seen that clip in so long. Oh my god, I missed those days.
Yeah. I mean, and I was telling Joe when I sent it to him, I was like, I noticed a couple things like in that video. I think I was still smoking cigarettes at that time. So, every time I would laugh, I would cough like damn near uncontrollably. So, come this February, I'll be a year without smoking. So, I can laugh without coughing as much. So
there you go.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm excellent. Thank you for coming on.
Oh, you're welcome. No worries. Anything for you, anything for another comedian brother.
You know what I'm saying? So, when he called me and he threw the little curveball,
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Again, I don't believe in coincidences. I believe in confirmations. And so instantly, after I got off the phone with y'all earlier, it dawned on me. You are who you are to him, but you're also like, you're basically the cog that keeps the wheel grinding, because most people, I know it because we've had this conversation, but most people don't even realize that in addition to being his wife, you're also his manager. And so, that helps to keep things going. And so it's not just hey, this is Ira and his wife. It's more like, this is the Lee business. And I know Lee is not your last name.
It's okay.
You're going to be Lee because he Lee.
I'll be Lee. I'll be Lee.
I do want to say something to get it off my chest because we had this conversation and I was like, hey, I need a manager. And the only thing that you seem to do between that time and this time is get pregnant. And not to me, but I'm just saying. So like, I don't know how this is supposed to work. Like how you just managed to get pregnant, huh?
I managed to get pregnant. I managed myself to get pregnant. It was the best manager position ever. And
hey, I ain't mad. Congratulations. For real,
thank you. It was a rough pregnancy at the beginning. I'm not going to lie. I was not the happiest, crankiest, feeling sick person ever. But once I passed the first trimester, I was like, thank God, I'm here. I made it.
and I remember when I saw the post, I'm getting older, so yeah. I was like, wait a minute, hold on, let me make sure I'm seeing that right. And I was like, oh my, like what? So I definitely want to congratulate you on that.
Thank you, thank you.
With the hyping up of who you are, or even more so who I see you to be, and the importance of your role in his career. One of the questions I want to ask you is like, how do you balance that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I would have to imagine as his wife, there's a level of love that nobody can mess with, and he is going to be your husband. But then as your client as well, you have to navigate what you personally feel he's worth against what you professionally feel he's worth, and then how to navigate with those people who's not willing to give him what he's worth. So, because I know on the personal level, y'all real good, like real good. But how do you do that, and how do you make it work?
I'm not gonna say that's a hard balance, but I guess through trial and error, like after going to one show, how I speak, and then I learned how they respond, and then I go to another show. So it's kind of like a trial and error to me. Like a lawyer, they're gonna walk in the courthouse and try to say this, that don't work. They're gonna throw another curveball around the other way.
Right.
So it was a balance of me learning. I kind of like took my business side of me from banking and put it in that way. So I had to look at like clients, like he was a client that came into the bank to do a transaction. I had to like cut off the line to think, okay, this is a business transaction. I'm not going to walk in as a business transaction. So, but it was a hard switch because I went in there blind. I don't know nothing about comedy. I don't know nothing how much they're supposed to get paid, contract, how they're supposed to be reading. Like this is a whole different ballgame what I'm used to. So doing the research, studying, when I went to comedy shows, I'm a person that walk around and ask other comedians questions, and they'll sometimes some lay it out, some you're gonna dig it out of them. But I'll keep my notes going, and I'm like, okay, that person said this, that person say that, that person say this, and I kind of like put it together, and then that's how I figure out how to balance. Okay, this is at home, we're husband and wife. But once you want me to put the business hat on, we're not husband and wife. I'm calling you to say, hey, there's a show that wants to do it this weekend. You're available. It's not on my calendar. You want to do it? Yes or no? And I, as he already knows, either give me a yes or a no. Don't give me, well, maybe no. I don't have time for let me know. A yes or a no. Because I can move to the next.
Yeah, because I know, we've had this conversation, especially after me and Ira did that horrible show in Fort Lauderdale, and then we went to Hibachi after that. And I asked that question because I personally had to learn, like, sometimes the things that you want for other people are not the things that they want for themselves, because I like how you guys move. And so, I had the conversation like, hey, talk to my wife. And what I had to learn, between then and now, is that ain't her thing. That's not what she want to do. You know what I mean? And she doesn't have a desire for it. It's not, it's not that thing. So I kind of, for you guys to do it and do it so well. By the way, congratulations, because every time I turn around, I feel like I'm seeing a post with him doing another show. So congratulations on the work that y'all putting in. That was kind of the thing I wanted. So now, once again, understanding how the machine works in the part that you play, how do you feel about your role in what he is doing?
For me, I like it because I see it. If he wins, I win.
Right.
So I'm always the type of person that doesn't want to work for a white man anymore. I want to work for myself.
Right. No, I get it.
So, but I'm the type of person that I can help someone else in their dream, but I can never figure out what I want for my own dream to do my own thing. but I always figure out what I want through their dream. So I realized when we went to where we went. I don't remember where the hell we went.
Yeah, because y'all been so many damn places, and I mean that with the utmost level of love. Like y'all been a lot of places.
I can't remember where we went, but we were with the guy who plays in Living Single, the handyman.
Okay, I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name right now, but I know exactly
Yeah,
who you're talking about.
I was at that show, and he said something to me, and I was like, I didn't know you were the wife. I was like, well, because I'm not gonna come out and say hi, I'm his wife. I'm his manager,
Right.
and I learned that because of another show. The promoter realized when I went up, I said I'm the wife. That's when he was trying to give me low money on the
Yeah.
agreement we spoke already in a contract. So I realized, okay, once they find I'm the wife, they don't want to talk to me anymore. So I realize now if I speak to them as a manager and professional, and try to dress professional, I don't dress slutty, I don't do any of that. I just dress strictly like I'm the boss walking in.
Right.
Now, you don't know I'm there, but I started realizing from that show was I can do this full time.
Yeah.
I can manage
Yeah.
multiple. I can have my own agency because I have a kid. I have a son who plays soccer, who wants to do it full time himself. If I'm going to agent him, I can agent other people and just bank my money through you.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, I could do because I don't mind sitting there with two computers doing my thing, calling, doing my thing, sending emails. Because once you have a rough draft of an email, all you have to do is change one thing and it's
Yeah.
it's sent.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely.
So I think that's how I realized I wanted. I said that's why I kind of dig more. Now I'm not gonna lie, I have fell off the loop a little bit with for him for booking because I took on the role as a team manager for my son's soccer team,
Oh, okay. Okay.
and that was
Priorities, I guess, because then you dropped your other client by the name of Robert Bass. But, we're not talking about me right
No,
now.
I'm not. I'm so sorry, sir. I feel bad. I'm so sorry. Sorry. Like it's, but I, that was the wrong thing for me to take at that time because I was
Mhm.
on a roll with booking, but I thought I could balance it,
Mhm.
but I could not balance it.
Well, I
It was
mean,
it, as a wife, a mom, and just trying to be his manager for comedy and travel with him, and then my son getting called up for games and trying to keep up with the emails with that. It was just too much. I couldn't. My brain never got rested and work full time.
mhm.
It was not happening. So, am I the brains behind his operation? Yeah, a good. Right now, I give him credit.
Mhm.
He's been booking most of his own shows.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I give
So
him. I'm gonna give him the credit because he's the
maybe
one
that's who I
who
need to speak to.
oh, I'm sorry. You good luck with that. Because sometimes he sometimes still comes to me and be like, "What do I say?" I'm like, "Here, let me send you this template. Just send that real quick."
Yeah, because it's a weird thing. Like having performed with Ira, a lot. It's a thing of knowing like there's a difference between the business and then the business of funny. The business of funny comes easy to us. We know what
Yes.
it is. We know what we're trying to do. We get on the stage. We do our thing. But the booking part, because I remember I was sitting at work one night, and then I get a message talking about a show on Saturday, and I'm like, wait a minute. Now I got to stroll through the messages, and I'm like, oh crap, I did agree to do that. I didn't realize, oh crap. And so it's a thing because it's hard pressed to be like, okay, well, I definitely, especially like with the don't tell shows, because when you do the don't tell shows, what ultimately ends up happening is that they you don't have to promote things and things of that nature. So you find yourself in a situation that's weird.
What is a don't tell show?
A don't tell
Oh,
show, there's an organization that does basically pop-up shows, and it's called Don't Tell Comedy. And so those are the best for a comedian, in my opinion, because you don't have to promote. All you have to do is show up. And the ones that I've been doing, they pack it out. So all you have to do is the business of being funny and show up and be funny. And so for people like myself and Ira, that's not an issue. It's just a matter of, okay, for me, man, I almost say yes to everything. When they come through, I already know. There's two things I know. The show is going to be packed and the money is going to clear. All I got to do is be funny, be there on time, and everything's good. So.
And then that is a good show, because when we went to the first one, I was there for the first one, and it was a packed house, and it was nice to see like a packed house. You know, we've been going to some crazy shows where it'd be like 10 people, 15 people, and
Man.
remember that one we were in the house for the hole in the ceiling?
I was getting ready to say. So all right, so to people, let me explain this show. So this guy randomly reaches out to me, and I was at a point where I was like, all right, I need to get back on it, need to get back on the horse, need to get back on the grind. So the guy was like, we're doing this show, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yes. And I said yes so quick. I didn't do anything that I needed to do. A, find out what the show was. B, find out how much we was getting paid. So when I thought about it, I reached out to him. I'm like, hey, how much is the show paying? And he was like, oh, well, you know, it's a free show that's going to lead to another show. Well, then I seen Ira was on the show. So I reached out to Ira and I'm like, bro, like this show in Fort Lauderdale, like, are you getting paid? And then he kind of said the same thing to me that the guy had said to me. No, you know, it's a promotional show or whatever. So I'm like, all right. At that time, you guys had moved up here. So we basically traveling the same distance. The only difference is he driving a Ram truck. So I know the gas wasn't good on that. So we get down there and I see it and I'm like, this is a fucking house. Like from the outside. And then like on the inside, I'm like, no, just calm down. You know what? You don't know how they did the inside. Because I hadn't even went in. So by the time you guys showed up, I still hadn't went in because the fear in me was like, this is some bullshit. And it is exactly everything that you think it's going to be. So somebody opened the door and I could see like basically their counter. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, that's unusual. So maybe, just maybe, man, I walk in and I peep around and they didn't tear down no walls. It was the freaking living room of this house, like literally.
Was a DJ in the closet?
Literally. He had his turntables catacornered so that he could walk around to get out of it was weird. And then I think the worst part about it was like, okay, you got us. You suckered us into doing this show.
He got us good.
You know, we're gonna do the show. We're gonna be professionals, but you know, we expect the same thing. And then the host, he couldn't even pronounce people's names. And then they was like, well, you know, make sure the DJ had your music. The DJ wasn't playing the music right. And yeah, it was a horrible night.
That was a night. He looked at me. He's like, "How did you know this guy?" I was like, "I don't know. I did my research. I found out through, and he seemed like a big promoter. I didn't know it was gonna be a house."
Literally. And then I'm thinking to myself,
a construction house.
Oh my God. Oh. And so then I go and I find the guy's Facebook page because like he instant messaged me. So I never really went to his profile. That was the other mistake I made. When I went to his profile, it was like he did this hacky job of a Photoshop, but he was like in the what's the Captain Morgan stance with like jean shorts on. I was like, this motherfucker. You know what? You won this round. So, you know, I performed and I kind of snapped on him, and then Ira did the same thing. And I was like, bro, we going to eat. And he was like, well, shit, we'll go eat with you. And I was like,
I felt so bad. I was like, I can't believe I booked this. I was like, because I was just reaching out to different promoters. I find someone, I'm like, let me reach out. Because you don't know. You really don't know. That's the worst part with promoters. Like, you don't know who's legit, like who is it and who isn't. Are they real or not?
Yeah. And so let me ask you this. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
So with that being said, because that's a very valid point, you don't know until you deal with them how they are. And then, in our community, unfortunately, sometimes we have to deal with janky promoters. Like, how do you navigate between the white promoters and the black promoters? What is there a difference? And if so, what difference have you noticed?
There is a little difference. Like the white promoters are ready. They're ready to pay up front, like halfway automatically. They're not waiting. They're ready for the contract. They're ready for signing to have it legit on paper and stuff like that. Like they don't take for long. Like I could get on a call with them, and within right after the call, 10 minutes later, I got an email of boom, 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 boom. This time, date, where, location, and what he's doing, how long.
Mm,
And then at the bottom of the contract it tells me like where to put the payment at. Easy.
yeah.
Black promoters, it's a give and take with them. I get one that's on it. I get one fly off the rig. I don't, and then
Yeah.
tells me one thing, and then when I call again, it'd be 2 months down the line. Like I haven't heard anything. You said the show was in the next 3 weeks. We talked 2 months ago, but I haven't heard anything. Like one of them, oh my god. I called him and snapped on the phone. I was like, I don't do business like this. I don't know who the hell you talking to, but I don't do business like this. I was like, you just imagine, thank you for the money, but I'm not giving it back.
Right.
We're keeping it, but we're not doing the show because I don't do business like this. He was all over the place. He switched the date without even telling us.
Wow.
I was like,
And that's the thing, because it is kind of hit or miss. I remember, I guess like the first black promoter I dealt with, like in my mind, I had already had the stereotype of how it was gonna be. I thought we probably was gonna have to fight, because he probably was gonna try to, shake me down for my money. But he had heard about me, and then he had came to this like open mic that I frequent at that time, and it was some personal things that was going on, so I didn't put out my best or anything of that nature. So as I'm sitting at the bar, he kind of lays it out, but he does it in a way wherein he's talking to me about me without me knowing it until I connected the dots. And
mm-hmm,
so I was like, oh man, you caught me at the wrong time. Da 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 da. I'm just gonna be upfront with you, bro. Like if you're trying to do a show, maybe I'm not the person you want to be on your first show. And then he
mm-hmm,
said to me, he was like, "Now I came all the way up here for you, so we'll talk about it, blah blah blah." We went over the money, everything's good. Once it was time to start promoting the show, he sent me the flyer. I'm promoting it on Facebook. I show up, and he had a nice little following. So we standing outside talking, and he was like, "Hey man, you ready?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and start the show." And he walks toward the door, and he turned around, and he was like, "Oh shit, here." And then he gives me the money. So I'm like, I had never been paid before the show. And then I'm counting it, like I waited for him to go in, and I'm like, oh shit, it's all here. And he at that point, like he had never seen me perform. So then it made it a little more easy. I did what I was supposed to do, and then he was like, "Man, well, I'm glad you did that, because I'd have been pissed. I done gave you that money and you and you fucking
yeah,
suck."
yeah.
And then every now and then you get that one. I got the one guy in Fort Lauderdale. We go down, and man, you're gonna be the headliner and blah blah blah. And at the end of the show, this motherfucker hands me $25. When I tell you my wife was mad,
Oh, I
ah,
bet.
she beat me, man. She's like, "You gotta be fucking kidding. Is it more to it than that? It's like, what he gonna cash app you?" And I was like, "No." And I was like, "This, yeah." And no, I haven't done the show with him since. And I think he tried to comment on something, and I think he was trying to see, like, test the temperature, see if I if
Hmm.
I still fuck with him, and I ain't respond. I don't fuck with him. So yeah.
Yeah, and then that's the hard part, like right there. Like once you mess up business right there with a comedian, it's hard for a comedian to trust you again.
Yeah.
Like yeah, they want the show, they want the stage time, but they're not gonna keep getting fucked over.
No,
Like
not at all.
it, it's not, and that's the only thing I can't. So I'm realizing more and more in the comedy world. for like you and Irene, another other comedian to get their face out there now. It's more you gotta take open mics, you gotta take free jobs just to get your face out there. And unfortunately, that's where the world is, or that, or sometimes be TikTok famous by showing your butt or showing something else. I don't know.
Listen, I'm trying to tell you, like I'm about to invest in the camera. I'm about to get an OnlyFans, because I'm probably gonna only have fans on there because it is hard. It is hard. And then I think like
And
the worst thing about, even like you say, then you have to do open mics and they are technically free shows. You know, unfortunately, a lot of times the people that's doing the open mic know you. They know
mhm,
what you're capable of doing. So then what they do is then they try to position you to be last, like you the unofficial headliner. And now you done sat there through a whole show of, unfortunately, some people that are not freaking funny. And then it's
no,
like, you have to be humble. You don't want to sound like you're shitting on nobody's dream. But man, yeah, no, hey, how you think I did? That was a hard watch. That was a hard watch. I
it's,
watched paint dry. That was funny. Like, oh,
it's so hard because when they don't find out that I'm not, if once they find out I'm not the wife and that they think I'm just strictly the manager and I'm sitting in the back, they come up to me. So, boss lady, what do you think that set was? I was like, do you want my honest opinion or do you want my business side opinion right now?
mm,
And they're like, well, both. It was sucked. It was horrible. Don't call me. Don't ask me.
yeah.
I'm not gonna do
It is crazy. What's up, Joe? I saw you
it.
pop in.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. Well, no, I wasn't going to be rude. This is great conversation. It really is because I mean we're the Indie Escape Network where creatives unite, and these are great stories for people to understand, whether it be comics, actors, writers, or whatnot. We got a few comments real fast. We got
Okay.
Jerry Kimura from Loud and Nerdy saying, "What's up, man?"
What
And
up? What
then
up?
we have Raven saying, "Being in business for yourself, you need to know your worth." And see, now my contact slipped, and I'm going to make a
No,
fool out of
no.
myself.
The hardest thing to figure out and get right in all industries, and that is
Yeah,
correct. That
that's
is correct. I used to. I said it in the beginning of the show. Like I would keep things close to the vest, and sometimes I would downplay myself, and I'll never forget. I was doing a show in Miami, and I had a female comedian tell. They were like, it was around about the time when I was really hot. And they was like, "Man, you killing it." And I was like, I'm trying to do whatever I can do. And they got mad at me like they were my mom. And it was like, yo, when somebody gives you a compliment, you take that a compliment, especially when you know that you're killing it. So it is a thing, sometimes it's a thin line between confidence and conceit. And I think that's the problem.
yeah, that's a problem because a comedian I really had that problem too. He wouldn't like take it and say thank you, and he'll say thank you and just keep it going. I'm like, you better say thank you because you went on the stage and you did a great job.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, you know me, I'm gonna tell you on stage right off you get right when you get off that stage. That was horrible set. Just to let you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I recorded it. Make sure you watch it because that's don't do that set again at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Which
so, and
which is a
I'll
good
tell the
thing.
truth. And I like you gotta like the industry of anything we do now. It's hard,
Yeah.
especially to do something on your own because everyone, especially the main thing now is social media. Everyone be a social media star.
Yeah.
So how are you
Yeah.
gonna gain all these followers when everybody else is doing it?
Yeah, and
Like,
especially for
yeah,
someone like myself, because
yeah,
getting older, like funny is funny, and it doesn't really matter the age that you are, but you also still have to be relatable. But man, I don't have it in me to do as many videos as they do. Like it's a grind, and it's a thing to be admired, but it ain't everybody's grind. I
no,
get on the stage. It's very few that can fuck with me when I'm on that stage. But you tell me, let's battle it out in social media. Okay, bitch, I'm tapping out. You won. You can have that.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
Like that don't make, and that's the thing. Like that's one thing I can't stand with promoters because we went to another comedy club that likes Lee, will love to bring him back, but won't because of following. And I'm like, that's outrageous. But yet you bring this one guy who I know that's has a huge following on social media. I know he does, but he's nowhere funny. But you're bringing him because he can sell tickets, and I can understand that. I understand it's a business for you, but what about these comedians who are grinding?
Yeah.
They're not going to be where they're at without the grind. Who are funny, but these people, I have nothing against them. They're funny on social media, doing funny skits with their family. Like I feel like I know them, their family, their kids. I know their favorite color. How many times to go to the bathroom? Like it's sad. I mean, I'm just not that type of person. People tell us that, oh, go on social media, and I'm like, I don't mind sharing a few stories there and there, videos, and being funny, but I'm not gonna record my whole life walking in the house. Here goes my kids. We're doing homework. Like, I'm just that's just not me. I'm not gonna share my whole personal life like that. Now, me scaring my husband in the shower, no problem.
Yeah, you've done that. And each time, and this, oh man, it's like a train wreck. Because every time I see it, it's like I don't fucking want to watch this. But then I'm glued to it, and then I'm like,
why didn't we get that video?
Nah, bro, I don't want that fucking video. And I pray every time, please let the angle be right. I'm not trying to see Ira Lee like that.
I used to get him so good. I haven't done it in a while because I'm like, you know, I'm gonna let him be. But yeah. I told him I'm gonna get you again. Just wait.
Yeah, I again back to my thought process of no, you're fine. Back to my process of not believing in coincidences but believing in confirmation. I was watching when I get up in the morning, it's bad because we're talking about these people who become social media famous. I am forever on TikTok strolling, and so I want to say actually it was tonight, shortly before I made my way to doing the show. I seen this video, and I think that it kind of embodied what I like so much about you and Ira Lee and how you guys work together, because it was one of those balloon popping videos, and so the clip that they had put up was they were asking the lady, why did she pop the balloon on the guy? And everything, with the exception of one thing that she said, was actually complimentary to him. She thought he had a great smile. She thought he had in that time frame to which they had been communicating, she thought that he had a great personality. The thing that she said that wasn't complimentary, she was like, I generally like my guys a little bit smaller. He was kind of a husky guy, chubby guy, because chubby guys winning. And yeah. And so, but then she said something that was so profound. She said that she was high energy, and he appeared to be high energy. And she felt like the person she needed in her life couldn't be high energy because she needed that balance. But the thing that caught my attention was, if you weren't paying attention, you would miss it. She said, well, then with my high energy and his high energy, it would become competing energies. And, like she needed to be higher than him, and she felt like he may need to be higher than her. But you guys seem to really balance each other out. You play your role, and I shouldn't say it that way. You understand where it is and where you fit in and how you make it move. And then he does what he needs to do. And it never crosses the line, and things are never blurred. The lines are not blurry, especially given the fact that on the other side of that, now we get in the car and we ride home, and we're back to husband and wife because you did what you needed to do. The business has been taken care of. The payment has been made, and now we can go back to our life. And so, that's what I like about you guys, and I definitely wish continue success in that. I know you got a lot going on.
Yeah, I'm getting back to it. That once the baby comes, due May 2nd. You better be at the baby shower. You better be there with you and your wife.
I don't know if we're gonna bring any gifts because I don't have nobody booking my shows for me.
I'm gonna tell him this. I'm like, he's mad. I'm not booking his shows, right?
No, listen. You make sure you send us the invite. We'll be more than happy to be there. I'm joking. We will come with gifts. My wife
Yeah,
be like, we can't go. No, my wife is black. Like, you ain't going nowhere empty-handed. You can't go to nobody's house without bringing something. So we would definitely do that.
But I do want to say this though. Between I seen early on stage with multiple comedians, different style of comedians. There's a handful of comedians that I know that he can fly kite with, go at before or after them.
Mm-hmm.
And you're one of them. Like, I love it when you both do a show together because it's like either he goes on and you're gonna finish it,
Mm-hmm.
or you go on and he's gonna finish it.
Like that night in Fort Lauderdale.
Yes, and that's the best thing about like when I see who's on the show because I'll ask the promoter. So who else did you get on the show? And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they just say they don't know. I'll ring a bell of like comedians like in the area that I know. I mean, I don't know a lot of comedians like that because I don't mess with a lot of them
Right.
because I don't like the attitude. But if I see them in the area, I'd be like, well, maybe that one and this one out of this area that we're in. And I'll give names. Sorry, I'll give names and I'll tell him, hey, give them their phone number so they can reach out to them
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. Now it's up to the promoter because these
Yeah.
people are very they like their own people. So
Yeah. And it happens. It happens.
and it happens like that. But I do love about like when you two work together. I always told myself, and I tell him to this day, I was like, once we get back grinding on this whole comedy thing again, like you really need to like do a tour of those certain spots with just you, Robert Bass, and Clyde Gordon. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, you three on stage. I mean, it'd probably be two heavy, hot heads, like not like fire heads. Like you guys always gonna hit. I
Yeah.
don't know if the crowd could handle three strong comedians,
Right.
but I told them it'd be great for a tour or just even a good show right here in Port St. Lucie.
Yeah. And you had said something before, and I think we have to definitely revisit that, especially once you have the baby and then life gets back to normal. In the effort to give back to the community. This coming year, I think we definitely need to do a back to school thing, and
I
then
think, and that's still, I had not forgot about that. And I
yeah,
told him, like, I definitely want to do that, especially since next year I know for sure I'm not doing soccer team manager. I already put the white flag up. I told everybody, white flag going up. I'm done.
yeah,
I'm going back to comedy because that's going to put food on the table.
yeah,
Unfortunately,
definitely,
team manager is a volunteer position.
yeah,
And
yeah.
my son, he's not getting picked it right now to go play in England and get paid.
Uh,
So, I mean, I would love to, but it's not going to happen tomorrow. So I know
yeah.
that. So,
Well, I mean, in time,
oh, in time, don't worry. I'm going to get my money. I did not birth that child for him to not get my money. He's my 401k plan. I don't know why people don't believe me, but he is my
No,
401k plan.
I believe you.
He
Well,
is my 401k
he can marry a Spice Girl.
Listen,
I'll
something.
take it. Something. He's my 401k plan.
Well, Tasha, I really definitely.
Let's hit a couple of comments if we could, please, if you don't mind. Okay. So Raven's saying, a lot of people are funny. Not everyone are comedians. I give props to anyone putting themselves up on stage live. And I have to agree with that. I mean, shit, I don't know if I could do it.
I can't.
From a comedian standpoint, like people will ask, what is the best advice I can give? One of the things that I did when I started off, I would ask comedians, what's your motivation? What keeps you going? Blah, blah, blah. But once I got into the position where I had made a name for myself and people would ask me, the best advice I give them, to her point, is get your ass on the stage. Like, there are people who are funny in conversation, but that doesn't translate to the stage. It's like what Tasha was saying earlier about social media social media comedians. They're good with the skits, but you put them on the stage, they're not gonna give you a solid hour. Hell, they barely can give you 15 to 20 minutes. Some of them can, and they are, rare. But that's the thing. Get on the stage. First time I got on the stage, oh man, I am pretty certain I did not do that well. But it was the feeling that I had once I got done. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this again, but I'm gonna do it better. And so, yeah, it's a thing.
It's an art. I say this, it's an art.
Take that one, either one of you.
Comedy happens naturally. You just have to find ways to throw it back at people in ways that they can relate. Definitely. Matter of fact, Ken Miller. Ken Miller is a comedian out of Orlando, and once we really get the ball rolling, I'm gonna try to get him on the show. But that was the advice that he gave me: keep it real. If you can keep it real and relatable, that's it. So that's kind of, and Tasha can tell you, that's kind of what my comedy centers around. My life, things that I see, things that are real to me. So yeah.
Same thing for Irely. It's the same thing for him. All his jokes is all real life stories, things that happen. He just twists it and he puts it into a joke. And he puts it out there. And that's one thing comedians should do. I mean, it's not just going the first try, the second try. Unfortunately, being a comedian, it's an art. You gotta know how to take criticism without feeling like you're getting attacked. So take the criticism, go back, rewrite the joke, but don't read off the joke on stage. Study it. I can't stand it.
Oh, I've seen it.
I can't stand it. I mean, I can't do it. I'm not saying I can go on stage and do it. I mean, I could host. Now, if you want me to host, I got you.
Right.
I got a few little one-liners in there every now and then. But forget one. But don't ask me to do no 15, 20 minutes. It ain't happening. I am not Irely. I'm leaving that to him. I don't do that. That's your job. But it's an artist. It's like people who are watching the show, and great show, by the way, for both of you guys. Robert Bass's beautiful show. Love the style, love the backwork, love the comments. I try to peep into the comments and try to read it in the different screens. I used to love doing this, podcast. I felt like with my other baby, and when we lost it, I was like, damn.
Yeah.
I was like, all right.
Yeah.
So,
I'm gonna call your husband about that. There's some things I want to run by him, but I didn't want to make it seem like I was just calling him for that. But yeah.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I just did I just like to let people know, like, even like singing, people don't go on stage and just sing right away. Then they have to do it over and over. But comedians, I feel like you guys have the hardest job, because how long can you make those people keep laughing?
Yeah.
Like, are you gonna be this comedian that goes, ha, okay, I'm gonna come back down here. Are you gonna keep the floor up high? Are you gonna keep that stage like on fire where those people are peeing in their pants? Or are you gonna have those people going, all right, are they almost done? The one thing I do want to say, promoters, whoever's listening to this, stop booking 6 or 8 comedians on one show. If you're gonna do that, make sure you keep it 3 to 5 minutes. Please. Because if you do each one for 15 minutes, they're gonna get bored. I am tired of seeing 6 to 8 comedians on one show, and they're all doing 15 to 20 minutes. After the third comedian, half of that crowd is gone. And then by the time you get on stage, Robert Bass, or Irely go on stage, you got an empty crowd.
Yeah.
It is only 2 people sitting there, and they're looking like this.
And you gotta know who the killers are, and not only that, but people who respect the art form in the sense that, hey, there's a light. Here's the light. Get your ass off. So yeah. No, I agree.
Respect the light. That's one thing I can't stand. You see the light? You got 1 minute. Get off. Wrap it up. Because me, I'm telling you now, if I ever own a comedy club, if I show you the light, you don't get up, that music is gonna go so loud.
So there's folks that don't respect the light?
Yeah.
Really?
Man, comedy is.
I thought that was just like a respect thing and like a experience thing. You see the light, you got your time,
cockiness and confidence, and that's where you have people who don't respect the light. It's like, oh well, I'm killing, and in your mind or in their mind, they are, but it doesn't matter. Like there's other people that got to perform. Get your ass off. There are that joke in that clip. I think I told you about this in person, Joe. But the way that it came about, where I say, well, I got a joke that I tell, but I'm not gonna really go into it. Just know it has something to do with Spanish people and dildos. It happened because one night I had put together the set, and in my mind, I was gonna be able to tell that joke in its entirety and then lead to the new joke. But I got the freaking light. And so at that moment, I was like, well, crap. I need to kind of do a segue. So I came up with that line and cut it short. I ended up getting a laugh, so I kept it in there. And then I was able to do my joke, got my ass off the stage. Everybody doesn't do that. I think, at that point in time in my career, I wanted to be invited back, and I didn't want people to be like, oh, well, this is a motherfucker that don't respect the light. He's funny, but he's not going to stop when you tell him to.
Mm-hmm. And that's the worst thing. And the sad part is like, when you don't respect the light, I don't understand why. And then the first thing I like to say, oh, I didn't see the light. You didn't see that big flashing red light that's going like this? Man. I saw it. Like, I could see it. And there used to be times when, I'm not going to lie, I really was pretty bad with the light. I had to train him. There was one time I walked across the whole stage with the light in front of me. Like, can you just get off the stage?
Oh, like, my God.
You passed your time. Get off the stage. I was about to grab the mic.
Don't do my dog like that.
I'm going to do him like that.
And I know what it is. As a comedian, you always want to end on a high note, but at the same time, that comes with practice. You know what I mean? Yeah. And sometimes, depending on how you put your jokes together, you may get what you wanted at the end in the middle. And then it's like almost like a laugh break, and then you go back in it, and you don't repeat that in that set. But get your funky ass off the goddamn stage.
And it's hard.
Natasha, can you take this comment, please?
Yeah, I'm trying to go on. Things that can be said Things that can be said in nearly every entertainment booker, drag, comedy, wrestling, etc. Know your time and know how many acts on the show. Yes, I agree. No matter what show you do, drag queen, wrestling, you gotta know how many acts on the show because, again, crowd gets tired. They don't want to sit there in a chair for 3 hours. Usually a comedy show is max 2 hours. Yeah. They get their drinks, their food. Now they're ready to go walk it off or go fuck, whichever one.
Yeah. We know what you was doing because you practiced. so, and that is the thing. So, Natasha, I do appreciate you. I know you got a whole life to juggle. And
it's okay.
Before you leave, we're gonna give her full screen. We're gonna give her full screen. Oh. Where can we find you and Ira on? Well, I hit the wrong button. Damn. Good Lord, I meant to hit this button. Sorry.
How much whiskey you been drinking?
Not enough, apparently.
You can find me and my husband, Ira Lee, on my Instagram page is Tasha_fit87. I'm also on Fat Boy's Wedding radio show. That's their Instagram page all the way. No, we do not have the radio show anymore, but we still keep it there to post all the comedy stuff in there. We also, his page is comedian_Ira, IRA, you can't mess up 3 letters, _Lee, another 3 letters, LEE. And all his other comedy stuff is on that page. And I do try to post all my comedy stuff, his comedy stuff on my page and stuff like that. But I'm on TikTok, the same thing, Tasha_fit87. I keep it across the board. I do not have Facebook, but my husband does. And I think it's comedian Ira Lee also, I believe. Yeah. Hopefully he didn't change it.
No, last time I checked, it's still comedian Ira Lee.
It's still okay, because sometimes he'll change it on me, and I'm like, yo,
he does have 2. He definitely has 2. He has a comedian Ira Lee, and then he has his real name. I didn't know what that was about, but I was like,
I don't know either, so I can't keep up with both. So
it makes me think I need a stage name. Do I need a stage name? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think, Black Angus?
Come on, man. I'm not I ain't fucking with you tonight, Joe. Oh,
Well,
that's
I
crazy.
truly appreciate you having me on here. I really enjoyed this. I love this. This type of thing I love doing, especially reading the comments. I was trying, like I told you, I was trying to read those comments. I was like, I know he's talking. Let me go look at the comments real
Yeah,
quick.
definitely.
This was fun. I missed this, so I really appreciate you having me. I hopefully we get to come back on, but both of us will be on together, and
Definitely,
you could
definitely.
pick his brain. I'm sorry that he couldn't be here.
That's all
Unfortunately,
right.
we had to
That's all
keep
right.
those rolls rolling. The
Yeah,
only way
yeah.
that roll.
And with the relationship we have, I know that it wasn't nothing personal. If he could have been here, he would have. So that I wasn't worried about.
Yeah,
But I got
it's
to
the
spend time with you, and
yeah.
I
I got to
appreciate
spend
that.
time with you guys. It was fun. I haven't seen Mr. Robert Bass in a minute. His little, what he's so chubby. Okay,
Chubby
fat boys
boys
win.
winning.
Fat chubby boys win. I'm like,
Yeah, it's chubby
with
boys winning.
with your gray beard growing like
Listen,
crazy.
I'm gonna tell you, I had to strategically think about what I was wearing today because I almost wore my purple shirt, but Joe called me Barney when I wear the shit, so
I
I
thought
try
I
not
said
to wear it.
Grimace. It was Grimace
It doesn't even matter. It's
or
not
Barney. Yeah.
flattering. No, it was somebody else called me Barney. It was Grimace. So yeah, nah, so I was like, no, I can't wear that tonight. Otherwise, Chubby Boys would have been winning. But I can't do
You guys, I really appreciate you, especially reaching out to us because I was like, when at first I was like, oh, 10 o'clock at night, all right, I could do this. I get home at 9, left at 9:30 from soccer, real quick, throw something in my stomach, and
Hey,
then
she's gonna go pass out now.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna go take a shower and
Well,
and
Tasha,
wait for that alarm to go off.
I really appreciate you stepping
uh,
in for your
Thank
husband,
you.
and thank
I
you for
appreciate
coming on.
a great show, Bubba. I don't know, great. I love the comments. Like I was trying to read. The comments were nice. You got a good following going on. Great show. I'm definitely gotta go find it on the social media handles now and stuff
Yep,
like that while I'm in bed. Because
definitely,
and see and follow more and keep up and try to see any episodes. Try to chime in on the episodes and stuff like that. So
definitely.
I
So
definitely do that.
Well, thank
once
you very
again, I
much
appreciate
again.
you.
And
You're welcome.
because Robert's not really good at closing shows, apparently. I thought
I'm
that.
I'm I'm good at closing shows, but man, I
All
was
right,
having a good time.
go
So
ahead.
all right, well, everyone, I am Robert Bass, as you can tell from the title, World Class Clown Comedy. She is Natasha, the cog in the wheel that is comedian Ira Lee, and Joe is Joe. So we definitely thank you for tuning in. This is the second show. Hey, if you like this, stay tuned because fuck it, I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do. Ain't that right, Joe?
That's right. Good night, everyone.
Good
Boom, boom.